and today we're going to take a look at the Colt 1911 Cyber Gun Blowback Series. Okay, so first up, this is a CO2. I know that some of you know that some blowbacks can be gas and CO2, but this is just a CO2. Now, this is not a straight out of the gun review, but it is an unbiased review considering that I got it for my birthday and that I did not choose this gun. Okay, so first off, that we're going to start with the safeties. This is standard lever safety and the regular safety. One thing I'm sort of uncomfortable with is that the hammer has to be pulled back in order for this safety to be put into place. And the magazine. This is actually a standard blowback 1911 magazine, as have some of my friends have told me, and it is regular. This goes in there, Allen wrench, screws the CO2 in, nice seal there, and the button at the back to discharge any CO2 if you're ready to stop firing. Now, the box says that you can fit in 17 rounds in this, but I actually put in 18 and there's plenty of room for the 18th, so you don't have to be worried about anything jamming. Back to the gun. Okay, so there's the nice little 3-starred logo. I kind of like that. It is a .45 ACP real life. And actually, this button is really nice and it came nicely oiled, so the magazine comes out pretty nice and quick, just like I'd like to. And actually, this is 380 FPS with .20, but I had a bit of a problem with the hop-up and the back system, so I put in .25. And if you want to adjust the hop up, you just unrack the slide and it is right there. A little dot shows you how much it is. To the left there is less, to right it's more. And if you want to switch out the springs for a more stronger blowback, it's right there for you guys. They have the ghost sights, which helps you aligning up the iron sights and more easier to see in daytime. And there's the hammer and the trigger. If you want to switch out the trigger, you just take this part apart, and then to put it back together, you just line it up, rack it to pull it back. So in case you guys are wondering, there's a small semicircle in order to put this guy right back here. Just line it up, push it in, and there you go. Gun's back together. And also, if you want to, you can just take it off for cleaning and oiling, which I personally think is a good idea. There's actually, if you don't like this color, I sort of do, because it kind of looks, you know, really interesting. If you don't like it, then there's different models that you can get, blackened, dual tone, stainless, and there's actually a threaded barrel if you guys want that. For Europe, you have to actually use that. Since it's a blowback, it's quite loud, you have to use a suppressor. I personally don't like the suppressors because it's just big and bulky and it won't fit in the holster as well as I would like it to. It is full metal, in case you guys are wondering. The only thing that is plastic are this, the sights, and then the handles. And if you don't like the grips, you can just take a flathead screwdriver and switch them out. Now for the BBs. Well, first I started out with Game Face .20, which that didn't really work out well. I mainly chose it because they were white and they're sort of like tracer rounds. What I normally would use in this is .25, also by Game Face. I prefer them, and because they're just pretty shiny, and also they're heavier, so the windage doesn't take them as much, and you can't exactly, you know, adjust that with the CO2 blowback handgun. This is my secondary, so it's pretty nice, nicely weighted, holds 19 shots. Oh, also it holds 19 because if you rack one and then put one back in the magazine, you can hold 19 in total. One thing I highly recommend is the speed loader, because once you pull this back, you know, it takes really long time to put them in one by one, and if you do that, then you probably won't get them as nicely double stacked as you would like to. So obviously a speed loader would come in handy for this gun. This is actually, might be slightly powerful for, you know, some CQB fields, but I go to D14 sometimes, and they told my friend who has the same gun that he could not use it as his secondary. Of course, most fields should chrono, and they did, and it was 380 with .20. If you want to use this, like I do personally, I lowered the hop up and put heavier BBs in so it was less powerful, which I highly like. And it's a great starter in my opinion. It's powerful, it's cool. It's got actually quite a kick to it, which I like. And for some of you guys that, you know, put flashlights and, you know, whatever on, such as lasers, there's a 20mm Picatinny rail at the bottom. I don't, because I use a holster, a thigh holster, because it's easier to carry around, and it's already pretty heavy as it is, so I do not actually put stuff on. If the gun itself wasn't so heavy, which I personally don't have a problem with, then I would, but it is. So, you know, I don't do that because my laser is about half a pound, and that's adding half a pound to what it already is.